But what I want to say is that this man's not a political poet, but he's an anti-political poet. Ladies and gentlemen, please, please give it up for a great feature from Joffre, Stewart!
Out of attempt 7, this first one I heard the tune for when it came out, and then in the 80s it was on the box here, and sort of revives my memory. So, title, with regards to Louis Prima. Obama, the CIA is he. Obama, more terror wars to be. Obama, blind to conspiracy, to sabotage two Gotham Towers for Zion's hegemony. Obama, he votes for Condi Rice. Obama, Wall Street thinks he's nice. Obama stands up for Israel, the atomic bomb and all that fun that takes us straight to hell. Obama stands presidentially tall. Obama, but will he draft us all? Obama would head a sorry state. 2 million souls, half them black, behind the prison gate. Obama, whatever taxes due. Obama, he will to them be true. Obama, he'll levy and collect for border cops and special ops, which Kissinger eyes neglect. Border cops, special ops, postmodern disrespect.
Wow.
Today would be a birthday for Rosa Parks.
Yeah.
The title is Taking a Stand. 1 week before Mubarak resigned, 4 weeks before Fukushima Ash Wednesday, if I can trust a Catholic worker calendar that puts Easter Sunday on the Monday after Palm Sunday, Rosa Parks was born a year before the start of that first great war for Israel. Her coming out year being the year Joffre was assassinated to ensure the war would happen. Not unlike the murder of Huey Long, suspected also for ensuring that second great war for Israel. A readiness to register blacks to vote notwithstanding. Rosa was not a single mom, and other characteristics of NAACP respectability made her choice to rally behind when she kept her behind in place, denying a white man whose name has not been married to her narrative. Her worthy, calculated stubbornness got so many people out of their seats and walking that it occasioned me to a car ride to meet Martin Luther King and, like other pacifists, tried to talk him into being radical. But he was a student of the theologian who got the flag in the church to get German Americans to kill Germans, and the war started the year after Rosa was born. How we are entangled in the web of history. I knocked over the flag in the Second Unitarian Church, but we've got to do better than that. Also, two idolatrous rags may have a stand in synagogues. Do Anabaptists shirk the flag or shirk God? As a mere reader cannot see, I take my stand on liberty. I've not been enough a Muscovite to know what goes there, but Rosa went from jail on to the office of John Conyers, still on the mend, behind his unrelentingly fruitless efforts to get reparations. Should blacks have bombed Pearl Harbor? Boko Haram might not be kidding. I met Rosa once, but she didn't appreciate me getting in line to give her a leaflet. And so it comes to this. As sunless tensions mount for Ferguson to explode. And next is a haiku, no title. Some churches have mass, but altogether no critical mass for peace. And the title, is Charlie Hebdo a crock? The epigraph is from Sherman Skolnick, who was reported murdered by Mossad 8 years ago last May. Report from an anonymous source. New York City firemen, there were bombs in the building. Cyberspaceorbit.com. Crucial info evidence. Explosives toppled WTC.
I might.
In the rhetoric of news blather, the equation is made betwixt 9/11 and the sudden death of 12. Who could draw irony from the tip of the pen? But since it is well established anywhere but the mouthpieces of the establishment that 9/11 is a hoax and a fraud, what does mass do for mass murderers, exploiting the deaths of 12, putting a Republican-type murderer of 2,100 Gazans on parade for liberté, égalité, fraternité, denied more than ever to Palestinians as they seek membership in an international court? One of the gunmen, now being entertained by a chorus of belly dancers, saw through the hoax and fraud of Grounds Zero, according to his mother, and which became one of his motivations for dropping his polite friends for jihadist friends, and feebly imitate Obama, dropping 500-pound predation on that reused Pentagon hardware in devastated Syria. Which is not to say that the jihadist acts were not managed in deep conspiracy. For how can you tell all the excuses for the failure of security from signatures for the conspiracy management that produced the event, as with 9/11? Forewarnings don't stop a conspiracy that moves gold into Building 5 before Moshe El-Makis and Dominic Sutter can truck in the explosives for the targets that yield Larry Silverstein $7 billion and no Goldfinger caper. And I do notice, if you don't, that the names are Jewish. A conspiracy in your face can go through the news indistinguishable from genuine events. This poem is working if it only leaves you more skeptical than before. Thus, is that tear of Muhammad, who knows what he looked like, on the 1 million copies cover of Charlie Hebdo a crock? The next one. The next one's gone through several revisions. This is how it stands now. The title is Passing for White. Julius Lester kills Palestinians by becoming a Jew. Most people do it by looking the other way. Everywhere made poetry safe for Israel. Guild Complex once did drop me from their mailing list. Where is Guild Complex? Some Chicago anarchs have their Zionist complex. I should say most of them. The Wobbs won't let me sing with them. Solidarity forever. Liberals, Roman, call the cops on my nonviolence. Protestant liberals have it thrown in jail. I am indebted to a Nazi for truth about the New York Times. Hillbillies tell me they want not to become America's Palestinians. The Jews closed my College of Complexes, said the friendly Irishman, only 1/4 human, and who suppressed me at and fired me for reading poetry. I've had friendly chat with Cicero Nazis who didn't want the Jewish leadership of Marquette Park Nazis. My minister, Prosper, was a favorite at meetings of the Virginia Klan. How many Nazis might I know who hate Jews but not blacks? C.J. Laity in the trenches for Israel. Broke a promise to open mic me made a year before because of what I might say. And now Peter from jail wants me to correct my oppressive white male behavior demonstrated by this poetry. And the title here is Poetry, and the epigraph would be the same as you heard, but Scolding goes for a variation. Scolding goes to http://people.aol.com/people/17459.2-3, 00.html. New York Fire Department's chief arson investigator said on TV on 9/12/2001 that internal explosives were used to bring down the WTC towers. In 4 parts. 1. Sprite names an anarchist who does not like to see me burn the flag. Odd, but worse. wearing that Rothschild-branded anti-Palestinian rag. Sprite shut me out of anarchist meetings. I can never be a Jew. I'm an atheist. Sprite was part of the leadership that shut me out of anarchist protest for the 1996 Democratic Convention. Their rights to peaceably assemble smashed by the cops, perhaps saving me some grief. And Sprite was one of those who dragged me off the anarchist stage at Spertus because I scanned lines critical of Israel, an anarchist movement owned by Jerusalem. 2. And Sprite would not be too bright, but only as part of the rest, even best, of what passes for revolution, whatever, embedded in the White House lie of 9/11, defaming Osama bin Laden, not taking 9/11 truth into committed position papers, commitment kept public in print, posters, publishing speeches, and on the streets, a left embedded with the right as part of that post-9/11 world, instead of disrupting patriotics and confronting the mediated consensus, subversively manufacturing consent. 3. And Sprite turns up again. The day after Glenn Beck and Sarah Palin tried to replace Martin Luther King at the Lincoln Memorial as a cold can of it belonging to the Coca-Cola gang. Murdering labor organizers in Colombia. I was on the northwest corner of the protest spot, yards from where Route 66 begins, leafleting tax resistance to Obama caring for CIA creations in Afghanistan, when a man in friendly broken English gave me some food that must have been allotted to that morning's triathletes, only one of whom seemed interested in my peace works. This was close to the time when one of my poems brought me to the attention of a woman whose son does publicity for Vijay Iyer. In the collection of triathletic leftovers was a cold can of it, tempting for a day in the 90s, but since it belonged to that sprightly Coca-Cola gang of assassins, I boycotted, in keeping with the wishes of those suffering under Plan Colombia. Like a can of Coke given to seniors by the mayor, I only have use for it in poetry.
Whoa.
And poetry pours for the boycott of Israel. What started as a labor sympathetic boycott, South America, becomes a Palestinian sympathetic boycott, Middle Eastern. 4. And if the lines above don't work, failing as a high art of literature, shall I pour poetry again? And again, and I have to remind those Coke-drinking labor radicals that they have a boycott now, plural. DePaul is more on the ball than Marxist. Again, until boycotts end, ending a Zionist Jerusalem? What thinkest thou?
And that was that Larry Lyle? Oh, no. I want to drink that. Come here. No, I don't. But what I want you to do is come over here. Not because I want to walk on the flag. Come here. Put your arm around me. Ladies and gentlemen, we didn't know what an ending was. I don't think it was loud enough. Please give it up for Joffre and Stewart. Come on. Yeah, I think you might like your flag.
Well, anybody can stand on it. I don't.
Yeah, no, well, you know, I wasn't saying because it was your flag. I was just trying to. Here, that was awesome. I'm like, I look over and I'm like, Bob, I'm like, that's performance art. That was awesome. And thank you very much.